Harvest Company. Colorado Harvest Company.
I don't know if it's on. It is on.
World Viral.
Hey, it's Amanda with Apothecana, and you're watching Pot Talk with Chad Drew on WorldViral.tv.
What?
Pot Talk.
I kind of botched that. That was a botch.
Pot Talk.
It never went totally silent, though, so it's all good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so we're back here in Studio A for Pot Talk. My name is Moose. We've got Chad Drew CT in the booth and Mark, the guy that could fly, in the house.
We appreciate it.
There he is.
Welcome
Hey,
back.
there we go. Appreciate it very much. Thanks for having me. Good
He
to
was
be
here
back.
when we had the old setup.
Yeah, dude. It's been a little bit.
When we had
Seems like just yesterday.
It does, right?
Yeah, no, it's good.
Dude, company's been going crazy since then, too, right?
Yeah, I guess
That's falling on you.
the more things change, the more things stay the same. But yeah, it does feel like it's been a long 2 years. Just lots of growth. I've moved from one location to the other, and things are going great. It's just been good.
I'm glad that you're around, dude. For those of you that don't know, Mark, the guy that could fly, he has a YouTube channel, and he's awesome. He was actually like kind of a little bit of an inspiration for what me wanting to get in and doing what we do. He was like doing this when I joined Colorado Harvest Company.
What exactly would you say it is that you do?
It's a weekly podcast that, right?
I wouldn't say it started out. Yeah, I wouldn't even know. It's a long story how it started out, but anyway, it was more a lot of vlogs, cannabis related vlogs. One of my most popular is I was biking home from my job interview, and it was the title of the video was "Biking Home from a Bud Tender Interview," and that has thousands of views. Just talking about the experience of going through the interview process. That was in 2013, early 2013, and. Just a lot of smoking weed, sitting on my couch.
He does political rants, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
He keeps us up to date with a lot of the current news that's been going on, and he's got a funny take to it. So,
I used to anyway.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah. So you haven't been doing it for like a year now, right?
Yeah, I have not made a video in 2017, and it's probably only a couple in 2016, which is crazy to think about. That it's been a long time since I made a video, because for a while I was making about 3 a week.
You were,
and I did have an internet show that I tried to do once a week, and I think we were talking before the show. I commend you for being able to continue to do this week in and week out, because I couldn't do it. I mean, even doing YouTube videos, sitting at home on the couch by myself with the GoPro and a microphone, like I still was I can't keep at it. Just lost the motivation to just make the videos, I don't know.
There he is, dude. There he is. He's biking, dude.
There you go. He looked it up.
I like the videos because it's real. He talks real about being what it's like, the experience of being in in the industry that we are. And there's a lot of other YouTube channels. At the time, I had a little inspiration from Citizen J, of course, and then also Paul Token. And
yeah, Token Daily was a huge inspiration for me, and how basically it all started was sort of a response to one of his videos where he sort of asked for people to make responses, and those videos were well received, and it sort of took off from there. So
Paul's living the life too, man. Paul came by
Hawaii.
here. Yeah, dude. He came by here before he took off to Hawaii. And if you don't know, Paul Token's channel is awesome too. But it's interesting to see through the course of the 3 years how even just you three, Citizen J, Token Daily, and Mark, the guy that could fly, have evolved throughout the industry as well, dude.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he Citizen J worked for Evergreen Apothecary sort of early on in 2014, and then he went and worked for Incredibles and some other edible companies, and I think he's moved on, is not currently in the cannabis industry, and that might be one of the reasons he's taken a break from making videos.
Yeah.
For me, a lot of the videos was motivated around sort of like change, it was coming into Denver, getting a job in the industry. Before that, I was living in Fort Collins. They voted to shut down dispensaries.
Right.
So then that moved to Denver, getting a job in the industry, working in the industry as it became legal. Like there was all this change and things were moving, and it created for great content. And maybe that's one of the reasons that personally things are moving forward, and I still feeling that sort of progression and change just from work and how Colorado Harvest Company is going. But from an industry, from a perspective from things I want to share to the world. Sometimes it's not. Maybe
So
2016 and 2017 aren't what 2014 was for sure.
So you're with Colorado. You guys are colleagues.
We are, yep.
Yes, sir.
Mark
So-
manages the Calumet location. He holds it down. I love the Calumet location, 1178 South Calumet, over off of Mississippi and Santa Fe. It's kind of like what I call the homie's house. Out of the 3 shops, it's kind of like going to your homie's house, dude.
Yeah, we're the smallest, but also the best.
Right?
So give us a little background on the guy that could fly situation for anyone that may have missed you last time you were in here.
Oh, sure. So I moved from Iowa in 2010, and I had started the channel a couple years before that. I was in hot air ballooning. In Iowa, it's fairly popular, I would say, just open spaces and that sort of thing. Just grew up around it, like going to events, and finally the family decided we wanted to, get into it. I got my pilot's license when I was 18. 17, just before I turned 18. And I have over 300 hours as a pilot of a hot air balloon, and thought I would start a channel to make videos of flying in a balloon. But unless you're crashing, you're not, 4 views later, I'm like, okay, maybe I need to do something else. And I was actually making, weed smoking videos with my brother with on a different channel. And I was commenting, is this the guy that could fly? And then it just sort of evolved. I was started making videos as well. It's grammatically incorrect. It should be the guy who could fly. I think there was an old video.
It gets me every time.
Yeah, but it stuck.
It sounds more like TV-esque though with that instead of who. It sounds more epic.
Yeah, like the guy that could fly. It's just a weird.
It's like a fairy tale.
It kind of clicks. But then it also is weird too.
But going back, you actually owned your own hot air balloon. You actually you got your first tattoo of a hot air balloon, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So I know that last time, there it is. We were talking last time about the feasibility of hot air ballooning across an international border and then landing on the other side.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, there's a famous story of like Germany, like a family building a balloon to cross from West Germany when it was, when there was a West Germany and East Germany.
Yeah.
A famous story of a family building a homemade hot air balloon to get the hell out of there.
Right.
Nowadays, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's drones. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Dude, I've never been up in a hot air balloon. I'm scared of heights.
I haven't either, but I have 2 main memories of hot air balloons. One of them was going to the hot air balloon festival. Maybe it was in Steamboat. I think they might both have been there.
Yeah.
And the second one was that when we were there, when I was a kid, I was probably like 7, and my sister was probably 4. And we were in the hotel room, and my mom or dad said, "Oh, there's all the hot air balloons out the window." So my sister and I both sprinted through this door to get to the window, and I ran right into the door latch part, where when you close the door and then the thing goes into the hole.
Yeah.
And it sticks out a little, and it went right into my forehead, and I had to go get stitches.
Oh, that sucks.
And it ruined the whole trip.
So now you have this negative connotation of hot air
that
balloons.
Ain't fun.
Yeah.
That sucks, dude. And head contusions, they bleed, dude.
Yeah, they're not fun.
Yeah.
Sounds horrible. I've never had a head injury while ballooning, and I've flown a lot. So.
Favorite flight, favorite place to go?
I wasn't even ballooning, and I hurt myself ballooning.
Louisiana. I went down to Louisiana. I got to fly in the U.S. Nationals. That was pretty for ballooning.
Yeah.
So how exactly does a balloon competition work?
It's like steering at various levels of the the wind is at different directions. Like right at treetop, you might be going straight north, but as you gain altitude, a couple hundred feet up, maybe 50 feet up, maybe 1,000 feet up, you'll get a turn. The wind will change direction. Sometimes a lot, sometimes not very much. Sometimes the wind will be going all different directions. So if you can figure it out, you can go any direction the wind is going. In Iowa, it was mostly one direction with a 10, 20 degrees of steerage. In the Southwest in Albuquerque, which is huge for ballooning, they you fly in 360 degrees. You can just fly in a circle if you want, but you're definitely flying with the wind, so you have to navigate the wind. And with a competition, they'll have X's, or targets lined up essentially, and your objective is to fly as close as you can and drop a marker. Closest person wins. There's other ones where they'll have squares, and you have to put 2 baggies inside the squares and be as far apart as possible. But it's essentially navigating the winds to a goals, and navigational steerage is sort of the thing. Cause
That sounds fun.
Do you get to smoke weed up there? Like
the federal government owns the sky.
Yeah.
I have a FAA.
Even in the Colorado air, you can't.
Yep, it'd just be like national parks.
Yeah, I was
sort of,
gonna
it's their
ask-
territory.
Yeah.
You get a hot air ballooning under the influence.
Yeah, I guess it would be just like operating under the influence. I bet
Yeah.
you could. What's weird though is champagne alcohol. Like I always joke like sometimes like ballooning for people is like a GoPro shot off. That's fine. It's just a sport for drinking. Or like champagne and propane, breakfast to ballooning. They go together real well. So I don't know why you couldn't have a commercial operation that was basically geared towards people coming into town, going for a balloon flight, and the passengers are afterwards or maybe during are enjoying their cannabis.
I remember
Like a booze cruise when you go to Hawaii.
Right. I remember you
not?
talking to me
Why
about
not?
this early on when we were still both working next door about that, and that's so interesting because since then, I mean, we've been talking about changes and stuff, and since the time you were here, the industry has evolved, and it's crazy. I know that personally, we have to figure out when we have the time to be able to do the show and stuff like that, but. When the change doesn't really base it on, there's so much that still is always going on to be able to document it, and talk a little bit about how it's been to be able to get into the areas that you are in Colorado and the change within the industry, and you think now it would be able to evolve to do an interstate sort of business.
I mean, honestly, the main thing I think about, because I started to grow at home. And the mail, like if I know somebody in Oregon that's growing the bomb weed and I love their, whatever, their headband or something, why can't I buy it from them?
Right.
Or if Colorado Harvest Company, if our strawberry diesel, we have the best in the world, why wouldn't someone in any part of the world be able to buy
That product?
And if it's legal in every state, then that's one thing that I think it would allow people to sort of, the business model would change, but just from a consumption standpoint, it would open up to whatever. Maybe Kentucky's really good at hemp,
right?
And so you would be buying all kinds of hemp from Kentucky,
right?
Just whatever. Maybe just opening that sort of thing.
The importing and exporting of the industry is something that very well will have to get addressed eventually.
It's taboo now,
Yeah.
but just like other things that might have seemed, taboo 5 years ago, it's not. So, and then the other things like I'd say it, but like bus drivers, they don't get tested for alcohol, but they do for cannabis still because it's federal. The city buses in Denver, they get federal funding, so they still have to drug test.
Right.
But we're sort of driving them to drink, right? It's sort of a pun because they're driving, but.
Yep.
They can drink every night and there's not a problem.
Yeah.
But because they're federally funded, they still can't consume cannabis responsibly at all. Like even on the weekends, it's not even a matter of.
Yeah.
It could be a 24-hour, bong to throttle sort of scenario, and they still can't do it. Whereas 8 hours bottle the throttle and they're good to go. It's just
it's an interesting dichotomy when you definitely compare like the alcohol to the cannabis. Like growing up, my father did exactly what I do, but for alcohol. So to watch him, promote an alcohol.
Podcaster about alcohol.
No, he was a sales manager for Coors. No, like
what was it called?
Promoting Coors. You know what I mean?
Understood.
And to be able to, you guys made me lose my train of thought. No,
comparing alcohol like it's supposed to be regulated like this.
Yeah, the dichotomy of it, and I was thinking about still going between Denver and Iowa for because if you're consuming and you're not bringing it with you, you're just high. You know what I mean? So I was on this tangent of how are we going to be able to figure out the importing and exporting.
Yeah, no, I'm from Iowa. The worst part about Colorado is Nebraska. It's just terrible.
Ain't that the truth?
It's like Iowa legalized CBD only oils, but there was no way to manufacture them, and you obviously couldn't bring it into the state. So for years, there's been this well, if you have it, you're good, but if you get caught making it or bringing it, you're in a lot of trouble. And it's just like, it's just been a hypocrisy. But I think now they're starting to come around, and it sounds like even Iowa might start having, it might be very low THC oils. It might be for only a small amount of, conditions, but they're making steps. And then you got Nebraska. That's just like, they don't care. They don't understand. Like, they don't.
Yeah.
It's like they really would prefer that their citizens buy from their dealers.
Right.
I don't think they understand
keeping on the
that
black
that's not-
market.
Yeah, keeping on the black market doesn't mean
Don't make no sense.
It ain't gonna happen.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, get with the times. I mean, this is 2017.
Right,
This is-
2017. They say that the next state that's going to legalize recreationally is Michigan. That was just released this week.
Yeah, because they've been medical for
Yep.
years. They've had dispensaries for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it. Detroit, that'd be awesome. They should have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, just because, like, think about Denver and then the properties.
Yeah,
then
it could
for
totally
grows.
revolutionize the city, just like the way that the farming, the rooftop farming and stuff, the urban farming is doing for them right now.
Right.
If they could put cannabis in that mix, it would just boost it even more.
dude.
I love it. Yeah, it's awesome.
Colorado Harvest Company, Calumet location. Mark, what do you love the
come
most
say
about working for Colorado Harvest Company?
I'd say Tim is a great guy to work for. I mean, I remember saying that at the interview. Like, just
Yeah.
you seem like a great guy to work for, and that's held true. Just sort of a core values that seems to always be there, and always sort of, whatever changes come in the industry, we're sort of, have this sort of mission. I don't know if it's like a mission statement that's available, but it seems to be this core values of like caring for customers, caring for employees, doing the right thing, trying to progress as a business and with marketing and things, but still sticking with the core values. And that's
Preach it,
great.
Mark. Preach it.
All right.
Mention World Viral. You get 10% off at all 3 of our locations.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yes, that'll do it. But one more quick thing: have you also noticed how Tim Cullen has slowly stepped up his dress over the last few years? Like, he just dresses more and more like a CEO.
He's always been a well-dressed man.
He was a teacher.
I don't know. No.
He's a gangster, dude.
Yeah,
All right.
he's a teacher in many ways.
He's a gangster.
Stick around. We'll be right back.